the numbers had to be in somebody's head already. It's called scare tactics. It doesn't work, and it doesn't come up with a really good business sense at all. Give us the numbers, give us hard numbers, tell us what we're looking at, and then maybe we can do something about it. But I'll tell you another thing about privatization. It doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work.
Yes, it does.
The state of New Jersey tried it a couple of years ago under Crucified Living. It didn't work. The INA had to go into the state capitol building and arrest about 90 people that were illegal immigrants that were working on the phony green cards. And took them out, sent them back to a company that was running Hamilton Township that was a friend of the Republican Party at that time. It's in the papers, just look it up. It's the newest patronage. Get rid of people, you bring in a contract, the next thing you know, the contract is giving you checks when you run around for office. That's new patronage in New Jersey, and it's got to stop. It's not right, it's wrong. Privatization simply does not work. It lowers the quality of service and lowers the safety of what's there. I'm all for talking with Lawrenceville, even Hopewell, talking about combining services. I think we could do a lot to combine our road and maintenance services. I think we could do that very easily. We get the vehicles, we get the manpower, share with them, we could really make this thing work. What I do with the police, well, there's a couple departments that have already, a couple municipalities that have already combined the police. And then they said it's worked out. They said we saved on pensions, we saved on health insurance. That's where you get a cut back in health insurance. But I'll tell you one thing, when people get unemployed in the township, the one mysterious cost that's never broadcast is how much does that cost the township in unemployment? How many months do you have to, or weeks do you have to continue paying unemployment to the people you just laid off? That's what we would have to pay. And then what happens when they go on welfare? And the other thing is that many people don't seem to understand that they pay taxes in this township, in this municipality too. They pay taxes, and they're investing in the very company that's firing them or getting rid of them. To me, that doesn't make any sense at all. No sense whatsoever. So I'm going to be voting for this budget. But I want to see the numbers for the new budget coming out very, very shortly, Mr. Chairman. I think everyone on council wants to see them coming out very shortly. Because I'll tell you one thing. We're going to have a budget in front of us before September, and we're going to be able to vote on it before the end of September. I don't want to sit here and play games. I want to see what the mayor comes up with. I want to see what you guys come up with. I want to see some hard numbers, and I want to see what it projects. Somebody mentioned, going into the future, looking at the future. I asked years ago to have a 5-year plan, sit down with the administration and come up with a 5-year plan on how we can conduct things in this township on the budget. Haven't heard any acceptance of that idea at all. Not even the opportunity to sit down and talk about what we're going to do for the future. I think the citizens want to see us doing that, so I'm putting the challenge, I'm laying it out there now. Starting after tonight, let's sit down and start talking about what we're going to do with the next budget. All right, that's it.
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like an opportunity to respond to a lot of things you said here tonight. And I would like I have no written speech. And I'll try to respond to the comments.
Could I interject on one thing from one order? It's just on the amendment, not the budget. You still have to go to a budget hearing. So
I'll be happy to wait until whenever Mr. President would like me to respond. But I do want an opportunity to respond.
I will give you that opportunity.
Thank you very much.
no other questions.
Questions on
Motion on the floor. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Summers?
Yes.
President Murphy?
Yes.
The resolution for the amendment is adopted.
All right, we go to,
We have a public hearing now on the budget as amended.
Move to open the public second.
move the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's now open. Mr. Mayor, you want to speak with me the first shot?
Thank you very much. I think it's important first to let people know why this tax increase is upon us. And again, Mr. Bedford is not making excuses, it's reality. Okay? And the reality is that we did receive $315,000 less in state aid. The reality is that we had $1.3 million less in tax appeal revenue that we had last year. 1.3 million. Our increased insurance and health benefit costs are up 9 contribution this year. I thought the number was 1.2 million, to be honest with you. But I was shown today that no, Jack, it's $1.5 million. So those are the big numbers that we did get hit with. And did we try to do anything about it? Yes. We have laid off people this year. Part-timers. Not a whole lot, but we did lay some people off. In terms of Mr. Steinman's comment about he's received 4 versions of the budget. Keep in mind, the first budget that was given to council by administration was September the 23rd. Okay? And budgets do change. They change from day to day because of different things that happen. And yes, there were perhaps maybe 3. I don't know if there was 4. But I'll go with Mr. Steinman if he says 4. I'm not going to argue that. The point is, they've had it since September 23rd. And now we're in the month of May. If council would have spent a little more time with us in working with this budget, I'm sure it could have gotten completed in a more timely fashion. Not pointing the finger at them, they're pointing the finger at me, so I'm just trying to say that, I guess the best way to say is that we all should have been working better together. All of us. Right? Rather than just pointing the finger at one. That's the way it should have taken place. In terms of Mr. Murphy's comments about, I don't know. Well, you know what? If I don't have an answer to a question, I'm not going to say anything but that I don't know. And the whole idea was not, what I plan to do was not for this budget. It's too late. It's definitely too late. We should have been addressing this from September 23rd when we all had it. But we didn't. And I'm going to say we. I'll take part of the responsibility for that. But my plans for the next budget, the fiscal year 11 budget, which we already started to work on, and I did meet with township employees, and we did talk about layoffs. We did talk about salary freezes. We talked about longevity freezes. We talked about concessions, give backs in health benefits. We talked about all of those things. And no, I didn't lay anything on the table because the employees were very much concerned about, Mayor, what we'd like you to do first is get Ewing its fair share of payments in lieu of taxes from the state of New Jersey. Can you get that answered for us first, and then we'll talk about concessions? And I agree. And I've had so far at least 3 or 4 calls into the governor's office trying to set up a meeting so that we can talk about payments in lieu of taxes. I've called Mayor Doug Palmer, who's in the same position as Ewing when it comes to payment in lieu of taxes. Mayor Palmer was very agreeable. He says, Jack, if you can get us, a meeting with the governor or his people, I will be happy to come with you. So we can both state our case, and maybe we can both do well at it. And that was my concern, too. And we're still, as of today, had another conversation with the governor's office, asking again, how are we doing with payments in lieu of taxes? When can we get this meeting up? Mr. Bedford, you raised a good point. What are we doing for the future? Okay? There are some assets in the town that I think we could possibly sell off, some assets that we don't need. And one of those is Hollowbrook. And the conversation with the council president pretty much centered around that. He wanted to know, how much am I going to get for Hollowbrook? I said, Mr. President, I first have to get an appraisal done before I can tell you how much I'm going to get. Okay? So my answer to his question was, I don't know how much I'm going to get for it. All right? But I need an appraisal first. All right?
Point of order, Mr. President.
Well, these are,
But Mayor, I cannot have you go on speaking prospectively.